All right, so I'm going to advance to my first slide. I didn't fill out the slide of where are you from in the world, but I'll tell you that I am in Boulder, Colorado. Well, right now I'm in Arvada, Colorado, but I work for the Anderson Language Technology Center at CU Boulder. And we are a language and technology center, and that means that we do for the university, for the K-12, and for a lot of other people, a lot of professional development, a lot of training. We offer language classes, and the program that I'm going to talk about today is called Online Language Refresher Courses. And originally, those courses, we were not targeting homeschoolers. This was not something that was on my mind, but somehow the word got out, and we always have a few homeschoolers in our courses. Right now, we just finished teaching the German course, and we actually had a mother and her daughter take the German course together. And so I figured that the Homeschool World Conference would be a good place to talk about those courses and what we're trying to do and why. So I think I've introduced myself. My name is Edwige Simon, and I'm a language technology specialist, and I'm also the owner of a small consulting company called Learning Spell. So let me tell you a couple things about those courses. And okay, Atlanta, Minnesota. Right now I'm looking at the chat. That's great. So, and if you want to jump in at any time, it's such a small group, I would rather this be in conversation, and I can answer any questions that you might have gladly so just jump in. The goals of the course, first, these are not beginner courses. These are courses for students who've had a year and a half to 2 years of the language. This is our requirement. It's not necessarily the best way to define the minimum level. I don't know if you're familiar with levels in courses, but we're really looking at students who are at the intermediate level. And the goal of those courses was to help bridge the gap between the students taking intermediate level courses and moving on to more advanced courses, mostly third-year level courses at the university or AP courses. And another thing that this course is supposed to achieve is to help students prevent what we call language skill attrition over the summer or whenever students take a break from language learning. I mean, learning a language is very different from learning how to bike. If you don't practice it, you really lose it after a while. Another goal was to offer extra remedial practice for students who are struggling a little bit with their first and second year level courses, and also offer a chance for students to review before placement tests. So we also get students who take the course to practice for the AP and IB placement tests. And on a more selfish level, those courses are also a way for our center to offer our teachers a chance to build and teach an online course for the first time, and also an opportunity to teach an extra course. So let's go over those courses. First of all, these courses are not teacher-led. I'm sorry, they're not self-paced. They're definitely teacher-led. There's a teacher that is very involved with the course, with the students, giving a lot of feedback. They are fully online and they're asynchronous. And what that means is that although students have deadlines, they always have a window of 48 hours to do the activities and to do the exercises. So although it's teacher-led and deadline-based, there's still a lot of flexibility built into the course. They are 3 week long, and there are activities every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we also have optional weekly video conference meetings for students who want. And it's really interesting. Sometimes we have a group of students who really want to meet online in real time, and sometimes they don't. And so we try to be flexible. We offer sessions year-round. We have a session in February, one in May, June, July, and right now, depending on enrollment, we might have one in October. And we kept the courses at 12 students. I'll talk a little bit about what we charge, and you'll see that this is definitely not a very profitable business for us, but this is not the reason why we do it. I don't know if I've said that yet, but we have courses in French, German, and Spanish, and we're looking at building a Japanese, Italian, and Arabic course. And the courses are open to everybody. Anybody who meets the minimum requirement is welcome to take the course. And everybody who's taken the course once can take the course again for free. They become a part of our community. And whenever we teach a course, sometimes we have a new unit. And so we have students who jump in and just do 1 or 2 activities, and it's kind of a benefit. And we charge $75 for CU Boulder students, because these are our students, and we charge $95 for 3 weeks for non-CU affiliated students. And basically all the money goes to the instructor who teaches the course. Here you can see that, and those courses are really interesting because we've decided to host them in Blogger. Is everybody very good question, Song Yang. They're not in a learning management system. They are in a template. They are in a blog. They are in Blogger. Everybody's familiar with Blogger? So as you can see, the slide that we're on, this is a tweaked template. And so we have our IT person kind of arranged the Blogger site to turn it into a small-scale course management system. And we did this because it's just very easy to enroll students. And the other thing is, those courses, they're only taught a few weeks a year, and we want those courses to be open. There are a lot of activities that teachers, homeschoolers, students, independent learners, there are a lot of activities that they can do on their own. I mean, they wouldn't get feedback unless they get a teacher, but they can do it on their own. They can do it with a tutor, and we thought that it would be a waste of time and resources to close those courses into a course management system where the work that we've done would only be used a few weeks a year. So this is definitely what we call an open educational resource. And you can see we have a homepage and orientation where we have a little technical orientation and orientation to the course. We have a page with resources, and that's mostly links to online dictionaries. And then we have week 1, 2, and 3, and you see this drop-down menu to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Here, this is my course. Actually, it's my French course. This is not a part of the Blogger template. I'll talk a little bit about this at the end. This is a bit of an experiment. Everything we do in our center is open, and we've actually bundled this template for anybody who wants to build a similar course, and all you got to do is email me and I send you the bundle and the instructions. And so you can build your own review course in any topic fairly easily. All right. So the courses are very much culture-centric. We only use authentic material, and we try to really pick engaging topics. So for the French course, week 1, we talk about shocking commercials. Is it effective to use shocking commercials to convey messages? We'll also talk about sexism in French commercials in the 50s, 60s, and today. The German course has, of course, a tourism component, but it also has a very interesting component about food and regional dialects. And the German course, you can see the banner here at the top. It is this is week 3, and it's focused on responsible consumerism. So we really try to find authentic content and engaging topics to keep the students motivated, because these are non-credit courses, and I'll talk about those challenges. The types of activities that our students do, this is very different from anything you will see in a regular language classroom, at least from what I've seen at the high school level and at the university level. We do not have a textbook. Everything comes from the web. Of course, it's filtered. Of course, it's adjusted. Of course, it's appropriate. So we use magazine articles, and we develop vocabulary sheets. We use YouTube videos for music video clips. Radio programs, authentic websites, and we develop activities around this content. We don't really change the content in the sense that I don't make the content easier, but we developed a whole bunch of scaffolding activities so that students can actually get to this content, understand it, use it, talk about it, and read it. And that means vocabulary sheets, that means creating little summaries, that means for us creating transcriptions that are optional for the students. And this has been working really, really well. Students can actually use authentic material that they really could not access if they were on their own. So before I go further, I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about the content of the course and the way we teach and give feedback and credit in a way. But if you want to take a look at the courses, these are the URLs. So feel free to just, take a screenshot, and as you listen to the rest of this presentation, go and explore the courses and let me know what you think, what you like. Let me know if you have any questions on any of those courses. This is a project that I care a lot about. It's a little bit my baby at the Language and Technology Center, and I'm hoping to be able to grow them. We are very much open to feedback. So like I said, the courses are hosted in Blogger and they're public. We interact with the students in a private Facebook group, and that we tell the students that they are welcome to create an account under a different name just to join the course, so that students who do not want to be in Facebook can just do it for the duration of the course, or they can opt out of the whole Facebook group component. What we do in the Facebook group, which by the way is separate from the student's profile, so that if they have a personal profile, we don't see that. That's completely, I don't know if you're familiar with the way Facebook groups work, but unless the student's profile is public and open to the world, I cannot see my students' profiles. And when they ask to become friends afterwards, I usually say no, because I don't want to become Facebook friends with my students. Like I said, so all those interactions are in private group. Nobody can see what we're talking about. But the rest of the course, where the activities are presented, that's open to the world. All the courses are designed by a content expert, usually a native speaker, but not always, and an instructional designer. I'm the instructional designer for the German and the French course, and I'm the content designer because I'm a native speaker of French and I've had 10 years of teaching experience teaching French. And we have a mix of teacher grading and auto-graded assignments. We do not have a discussion forum because from our experience, students really do not like it. Instead, like I said, we have a private Facebook group. And we have listening, writing, reading, and I forgot to put speaking. Speaking assignments are also a big part of this course. We have grammar tutorials with follow-up activities, so we use a little bit of a flip model online. And for each course, it's 1 unit per week, but the way we're trying to build those courses is that we're trying to build more units. So for example, the French course used to have a unit on commercials, a unit on tourism, and a unit on food, and recently I swapped the unit on tourism for a unit on Haiti, a timely topic. It's a unit focused on reconstruction efforts in Haiti after the earthquake that I designed with a native speaker of Creole and a lady who is at CU Boulder, an engineering student, and we created this unit together. And down the road, we would like to have a modular approach where students sign up for the course and then they vote for the 3 units they want to take. And like I said, all of our activities are highly, highly scaffolded. So this is the unit on Haiti, which ends up with, on the 3rd day, with a little Creole lesson where students who learn French have a chance to kind of get their feet wet with the Creole language and understand how it's similar and how it's different from the French language. Students were very excited about this little activity, and this is the banner that our graphic designer created for this unit. And here I have a grammar tutorial, and are you guys, oh, thank you very much for putting the links in the chat window. Are you guys familiar with VoiceThread, the voice recording program? VoiceThread is a program that we use a lot in foreign language classes because you can upload any kind of media and record a voiceover narration. And we actually use it to create online tutorials. And because it's a quick, easy to do, easy to change, easy to update, as opposed to other more expensive, in both sense of the term, programs like Captivate, for example. And then students watch those tutorials, and then they have little follow-up exercises afterwards that are self-graded, and then they have more communicative, open-ended activities that they complete in order to show that they master the material. We had a lot of listening comprehension activities. Here it's a little video clip of a very young lady who is actually from Peru and who is learning how to cook in a French school. What's interesting and the reason why I picked this YouTube video clip is that this lady is fluent in French, and I think it's always good for students to see that if you apply yourself, you can actually become fluent in a foreign language. And here the YouTube clip is embedded in a Google form, and students fill it up, and then their answers are inputted into an Excel spreadsheet, and I give them feedback on their writing, individual feedback for this particular activity. We do a lot of cooking, so here this is my student Alex, and I asked her for her permission to share this slide, this picture, and this was the very last day of the course. We ended up with, it was the unit on food, so we all cooked something and shared our dishes. And we do also a lot of collaborative work, so here it's a transcription where students had to go over the transcription that goes with a YouTube video clip. And the clip was hard. I said we do a lot of scaffolding. That's a good example. Because the person who speaks has a very strong Creole accent, and the quality of the video is not great. But the content was wonderful. Yes, it's done with Google Doc. So I created a Google Doc, and I put in the transcription, and I highlighted in purple words that I wanted my students to look up. And in yellow, so people or historical events, and I wanted them to say, look those people up, and I wanted my students to use the insert comment feature to put some definitions, and so here's some historical explanations that they had looked up. And then in blue were things that they had to look up themselves because they didn't know them. And so, you know, with 8 or 9 students in the class, in the end, everybody had to look up 5 or 7 items, depending on the number of students. And then they had an annotated transcription that they could read, understand, and that was in preparation for the clip that they watched the next day. And without this activity, there is no way they could have actually understood what this video clip was about. But after doing this activity, they all did really well on the reading comprehension activity. So this here we do also a lot of search, share, and comment. This is an example from the Spanish course. I'm less familiar with this one because I didn't design it, but in my French course we do a lot of search, share, and comment because we're trying to create an online community, and it's really interesting. Last time I taught the French course, it was in July, and I had a student in India, and I had a student in Morocco, and then I had 3 or 4 students who were scattered in the United States. And so it makes the whole where do you shop, what do you eat, share your community, share your town, really a lot more exciting than, you know, if you all have your students in the classroom and they kind of all shop at the same places. This is a speaking practice. This is my student recording his Creole exercise and leaving me a little message. And for the speaking activities, what we do is we record a screencast of the speaking activity, and we insert comments and feedback directly inside of the recording. So whenever the student makes a mistake, the student in a way gets immediate feedback, because right after he mispronounced a word or made a big grammar mistake, we obviously do not correct every single mistake. We go for the big items. They have the correct grammar structure or the correct pronunciation immediately after their own. So students are really grateful. It's incredibly time-consuming, but I think it's really worthwhile. I talked a little bit about the share your community type of activities. And we find that students actually correct themselves quite often. They don't even use the edit button in Facebook, which for me, as you know, a person really interested in second language acquisition and the way students view mistakes, that was really interesting. Alex could have deleted her comment, but she chose to just correct it, which was pretty nice. A word about the technologies that we use in those courses. We use everything that is out there and that is free. So anybody could today, assuming that you have a certain amount of technology expertise, but you don't have to be a programmer, there is no programming there, and that you're content expert, you could go and create a course like this one fairly easily. I mean, it would take a while, a few hours, but from a technological standpoint, anybody can do it, really. We use Audacity to create and edit sound files. We use Blogger, like the Blogger platform, to host a course. I don't know if you're familiar with the Clear recording tools, but it's a suite of voice recording tools, conversation tools, audio, video drop boxes that the Michigan Learning Center offers for free to anybody who wants to use them. We use a private Facebook group for discussion and feedback. We use Google Forms to collect answers, Google Docs for collaborative research. We used Hot Potatoes, although we're moving away. The website for Clear must be, if you look up Rich Internet Applications Michigan, you will find it fairly easily. And so we use also Jing for feedback, but also use Screencast-O-Matic, and I use any kind of screen recording tool to give feedback. We use Skype, although we're moving to Google+. And we use VoiceThread for grammar tutorials and for speaking assignments. And we use YouTube a lot for editing, annotating, sharing, and embedding videos. Like I said, we are using only authentic content. You will find one letter in the German course that was not authentic, but we couldn't find anybody's grandmother who would write us a letter. So we wrote our own. But the rest of the course, it's entirely authentic content, which is really important if we want our students to not be surprised when they interact with a native speaker for the first time or when they visit the target country. The challenges of those courses, like I said, I care about this project tremendously. We're trying to make language review courses available to the world for really almost nothing, and yet it is hard to enroll students and it is hard to keep students. And students sometimes sign up for the course and they never show up. And I would say that out of the 12 students who, if we have a full class, we'll have usually 4 students complete the entire course. It is non-credit. And another challenge is to give feedback. Of course, as students drop, it's not as challenging and we can give more. Usually students who stay in the course end up getting a ton more feedback. But giving feedback on the writing, especially on the speaking assignment, is really time-consuming. But like I said earlier, students are really appreciative. They rarely get this level of customized feedback in language class. So I think it's worth it, at least based on our evaluations. In the future, and actually we're implementing this right now, we are implementing a badge system. And so for students who finish the first week, they'll get a blue badge, second week, third week, and then for students who finish the entire course, they will get a completion badge that will explain, that will have some metadata attached to it. We're using the Purdue infrastructure. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's called Open Passport. You can look it up, create a beta account, and start creating and distributing badges. It is surprisingly effective. Even when I awarded myself the badge just to test it out, I was pretty excited to get a really nice email saying you've received the French badge, and you can attach data, so you can say the students completed this course at this period. It's a French course, so if it's 10 years old, it doesn't have the same value as if it's 6 months old, but you can say this course represents about 30 hours of work, and the student has completed the entire course and all the activities. And so hopefully before long, we'll be able to, students will be able to push those badges to LinkedIn, for example, so that it really becomes a credential that they can use as they enter the job market. And this is it for my little presentation. Do you guys have any questions? So not right now, but we have a Catalan instructor at CU Boulder who would be interested in building a course. And like I said, I can package this template. Anybody who would want to build this course could actually build it. My hope would be that CU Boulder will kind of take the lead in building the first 6 courses, and then other universities would take over and create their own courses, and then we would have one page or one website where the courses are all cataloged. No, I'm not familiar with course sites. What platform is that? I'm going to take a note of that. Course site, definitely. Oh, it's Blackboard. Okay, no, I was not aware that Blackboard had a free platform. But it's good to know. And is it open to the world? Like, is it, or is it do you have to log in? Okay, I'll definitely look into it. The Blogger interface, we really wanted to have control over, the banners, and we wanted a really visually engaging course, because there's only so much we can do to keep the students engaged with the course when we don't distribute grades. But I'll definitely look into this. And the other thing that we're going to try to do probably this spring is offer the courses as MOOCs, just as an experiment. I mean, this course is really, we'll continue to offer the courses as 3-week courses where we enroll a limited number of students, but we're also thinking of trying out just maybe the Spanish course as a MOOC, just to see, experiment with this modality a little bit. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Any more questions? So, okay. I'm going to give you my email address, and if you're interested in receiving the template, I will gladly share it with you. We are doing a limited amount of, IT support. My language center is really small. It's 4 full-time and 2 part-time. So actually 4 full-time and 2 part-timers. So, but if you're running into issues and problems, we can definitely look into it. All right. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm really excited. I think this conference is a wonderful idea. Thank you very much. What do I need to stop the recording, or